Hey, it's the podcast guy.
Sutton United Talk Time on podcast. It's the Sutton Podcast.
And there it is! Sutton United at the GM Vauxhall Conference have put out First Division Coventry City, winners of the FA Cup themselves less than 2 years ago. And what a moment to enjoy for the fans of this Surrey side. They've had their moments before, but never one like this. But the whistle goes down. Delight for Sutton United. Sutton United from the National League are through to the last 16 of the FA Cup. No longer English football's perennial non-league club. A 123-year crescendo reaches a new peak for Sutton United, who are promoted to the Football League for the first time.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Sutton United Talk Time on podcast. It's the Sutton Podcast in association with Lucky Star Gin. I'm your host, Mike, and I'm delighted today to be joined by the gaffer, Steve Morison. We're going to cover reflections on last season. We're going to talk about the off-season, and in a brilliant piece of innovation, we're going to look forward to the 25-26 season. I bet no one saw that coming at all. As always, we love hearing from you. Join the conversations, stay connected. Follow us on social media at Sutton Podcast. Likes and shares and comments really help us grow. And let us know what you like about the episodes or don't like about the episodes. So, Steve,
Mike,
I said gaffer in the intro. There is.
Yep.
Do you have any preference to gaffer, Steve, Morrow? How do you normally ask people to address you?
No,
Politely.
however people feel comfortable. Yeah, some people some people call me Steve. Some people call me Gaffer. Some people call me Morrow. All depends on what's on the tip of your tongue at that moment. So look, it's we're all just human beings at the end of the day, aren't we?
Or you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for giving up some time. It's a weekend after a very hectic off season. Did you manage to get away and recharge any batteries, or has it been full on work?
Look, it's it never stops really. It doesn't stop. You start, I said, even all the way back to I remember last pre-season when we'd already signed Finn by March of the season before. So it was like you're always working. You go on holiday. I go to America, so that was great because you actually you wake up in the morning and you've got loads of messages. You spend a bit of time in the morning working through that, and then you go and have your day, and you're on calls every now and then or having conversations, and hits 5 o'clock and everyone goes to sleep. So you get your evenings to yourself. So, but yeah, look, it is what it is. It's you love it, and that's you're trying to put something together as well. You're working towards it. I remember speaking to Jaden White. I think I was in Lake City, traveling to Atlanta. I spoke to, where was I? I was Jonesy. I was sitting on a lake in Atlanta, Georgia. So look, we're just working constantly, and obviously you're doing bits and pieces, and some bits wait until you get back. Some bits you do while you're away. So yeah, look, there's lots of work goes on into it, and it doesn't really matter where you are nowadays because you can always do a Zoom, you can always do a Google Meet, you can always do a phone call or WhatsApp video. So and obviously there's lots of us doing it as well, like myself, Terry, Tom, and then you've got John obviously watching players as and when we need. You've got Sean picking up any physical data that we can on these players as well. So it's a real team effort, and everyone chips in, and obviously hopefully we see the rewards on the pitch.
Absolutely. But just thinking quickly back on last season, was there any point you were thinking this is working, we're going to go on a long run, or were you always thinking, oh, it's not going to quite hit this season?
I think I said it. I think I've said it before. I think I said it at the fans forum. The worst thing that happened was beating Altrincham 5-0 at home, because actually we started the season when you look back at the results now compared to how the season kind of unfolded, a draw away at Tamworth is an excellent result. The home win was great. The performance against York was very good. When Charlie Wallace scores that volley out of nowhere, Finn's debut was an excellent result. And yeah, it was about gaining that consistency. We started the season. I thought we started the season really well, and then we lose in the last minute against Forest Green, and then we lost Boston and Dagenham, and it was like, from a personal point of view, it felt like the world was going to end from the reaction. It was like, we've lost a couple of games, guys. Like, we've got 23 new players. They didn't know each other 7 weeks ago or 8 weeks ago, and all of a sudden, it was like a bad moment, a bad time. It was a really odd situation, because it was just a bit like, and then just some of the conversation I had at that time made me laugh, made everyone else kind of like, what's going on here? Like, because we put up team trying to get back to the EFL, everyone thought that meant that you had to do it instantly, otherwise you were going to get hung out to dry. So I've spoke to the media team about being too positive, because that can work against you. No, but look, I thought last season I think there was one time we got really close to the playoffs. So I think we got into the playoffs at one point. And yeah, I think just that group of players last year just couldn't deal with pressure. I think you look at, and obviously I don't know whether this group can, I hope they can. But we kind of got close to something, they failed. And I think you only have to look at, as I said, the Spennymoor game, where there's a great opportunity to go to the next stage and put in one of our worst performances of the season, which was disappointing. Obviously, the Leeds game in the final again. Obviously, get to the playoffs, and just didn't have that ability to kind of deal with that pressure that comes with that, which is a different type of pressure. It's easy when you're trying to get there. It's easy to perform against Birmingham for 90 minutes when there's no expectation on you at all. So that's just something that I think when we went into the recruitment and we looked at players for this year, we tried to look for players that maybe had that little bit more about them in terms of experience in certain situations. Hence Jonesy coming in and Phipsy coming in. Obviously Woody came in obviously after all that kind of stuff happened, but obviously he's now he's back to where he was previously. So having a few more players, bringing Nadders in permanently, just a few players that kind of been there, got t-shirts and can deal with a little bit of burden. And the plus point this summer is that we still kept 8, 9, 10 of the team from last year. So they're a year older. Like, you think you've only got to look at Lewis Simper and go, he looks even better than what he did last year, just because he's a year older. He's a year more experienced. He's got a year of football under his belt. He's never played that many games in his life in one season. So I felt like last year it was one of our big failures, was not being able to deal with moments when we got ourselves in good positions as a team and we didn't take it on. And then we had that. I think I think inconsistent is the word. We finished, what was it, 12th we finished or whatever. Yeah. It's like,
top half.
I think I've said it in a couple of times. We're like the epitome of average in terms of, like, was it 15 wins, 15 draws, 16 losses or whatever, something like that. Which just shows the inconsistency of the. But on the flip side, I'd rather be us than Dagenham.
Exactly. There were points in the season where I was obviously being my positive self, going, well, actually, if we could just win the next two and this one loses, that one loses, we're in the playoffs.
Of course.
But there are 12 other teams who would say, yeah, we'd quite happily take 12.
Yeah, I said that was the conversations I had a couple of times. Was like, come on, we ain't far away here. with the group. We're not far away, and it's kind of, I felt like sometimes it was like the worst conversation I could have, because then it was like the realism of we're not actually that far away. But yeah, look, I felt it was. I said, it was new. You're hoping that everyone's going to gel. Pre-season was, if I'm trying to remember back to pre-season, obviously every single game was away from home. Every single game was against lower league opposition, apart from, obviously, well, I don't know what you'd class Brentford B as, but possibly lower in the scheme of what they're about. So it was really tough to gauge, and we had some good performances in there, and then we had some terrible ones. So yeah, it was kind of like the unknown last year. It was very, very kind of unknown, and I think the lads equipped themselves very well in terms of, as I said, I don't think there was many of them in there that actually even knew each other up until the day they come through the door. So they formed friendships, they formed bonds. I would say there wasn't any cliques or anything like that, which was great. But I think we just needed that. We needed those players who maybe had been there a bit longer, just to kind of step up a little bit more as senior players. And at times it happened, and at times it didn't. So it led to being a very inconsistent season, but obviously a season that we could build on for sure.
Exactly. I mean, 12th is, as you said, top half, and it's something to say, right, okay, there's our baseline. Do you think it was a fair sort of reflection, or do you think, oh, we should have got higher, or we got lucky? I personally think it was quite fair.
Well, the table doesn't lie, does it? It doesn't lie at the end of the day. It's just it is what it is. You are where you are. Like, you could sit there and go, we left points on the table for sure. But I'd say on the flip side, I'm trying to think of some games where we nicked a couple of results. I can't even think there was. You go and play Rochdale, you do well at home, and an own goal wins you the game. So it's look, that table don't lie at the end of the day. I think it's always the raw, it's the truth. It's obviously from an internal point of view, you're looking at a lot more than that. You're looking at how the team's performing from a data point of view. You're looking at where can we improve physically, etc., etc. So yeah, from our point of view, and obviously having an ownership group that are highly supportive. Obviously, we're looking far beyond just results at times. We're trying to look at the bigger picture and everything that's going on, and how can we make the club, the players, everyone the best that we can possibly be, including myself and the staff.
So on that, were there any kind of lessons you took away from last season, saying, oh, I'd rather have changed that, or unhappy with how I handled that?
I think recruitment in the summer, I think it was good on the whole, but maybe would have gone and got a couple of. I tried to get a couple of more kind of experienced heads, but they just cost so much more money. And we still had, obviously, the hangover. I think 30% of our budget was gone before the season even started, with players that were left over from the season before. So we had to try and exhaust all options that we could. I think if I was going to change anything, I'd maybe have brought in a couple of older heads just to kind of help manage the group. But didn't feel like they were out there at the time, and felt like we'd have enough from a coaching point of view and experience to kind of just trying to manage them through that. But obviously, when you're on pitch, I said, you look at, like, I don't know whether none of you most probably even notice it, but maybe you did when we played. It was either Wickham or AFC in pre-season, and we're winning the game, and then the goalkeeper catches the ball, and as he's about to kick it, Harry Phipps runs and blocks him and takes a yellow card. And I turned around to the bench and I went, if we'd done that against Forest Green in the 92nd minute, we'd draw the game. And then you're five games without a loss, and you go into Boston in a maybe different frame of mind and don't lose the game. So it's things like that you can't legislate for off the pitch until they get on it. So I think that would be something that we'd take on the chin from a recruitment point of view, maybe get a little bit more experience. But there was a lot of unknown last year. Like I think I said it again at the fans forum when they asked how we're going to place Will Davis goals. I was like, well, we said this last summer. Yeah. We didn't know Will was going to go on and score 20 goals. We didn't know that Nallers was going to score 8 goals and 8 assists. Like we didn't even know he was going to come in until 2 weeks into the season when he eventually joined and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So it says there was so much unknown last year, and I feel like there's less unknown now, and that's why it feels a bit different.
So to finish the last season, there were some high points. There was the Birmingham match. You were very kind to me at the Birmingham match. I was at the press conference and you answered my questions as if I was a proper journalist. It was made easier because the woman before me had asked, "What's your starting 11?" And I was like, "Phew, I'm not going to ask something like that." But what was your high point of the season when you get a chance to think back and go, "Actually, that was good. I enjoyed that."
High point, any of the wins really. I think you just enjoy winning games, and because it's kind of like the process that you've put together all week, what you've planned, what you've tried to work on the training ground, what you've put together coming out. We're not win orientated, but obviously having the process and it all comes to fruition. It's most probably the best part. As I said, people call Birmingham a high point. It was a high point for the football club, but like we lost the game. Do you know what I mean? So, but from a club point of view, having that many eyes on us and that putting on such a good spectacle and going toe to toe with them was amazing. Obviously, getting to the National League Cup final, obviously really good for the football club as well, for the prize money we picked up along the way for that. But then ultimately losing it is a really disappointment moment. So, yeah, look, I think any time it all kind of came together and we did well with the high moments and obviously getting to know the lads and seeing Will go on and get his move to the league is obviously amazing for him. And that's part of our job as coaches and as a football club to try and make people better and obviously give them the opportunity to better their career either with us or with someone else. And he obviously backed that up on Saturday by getting his first goal and best £100 I ever gave their goalie.
Don't say things like that. It's sort of like it's 18 months-ish now since your appointment, slightly over actually. Quite sort of a longish time in football terms, but in Sutton terms, you're still kind of bedding in. I don't even know if you have a desk to get your feet under, but how would you define your relationship with the club and how has it kind of changed from when you first came? Obviously, you came in with a brief to do something and you're now building something slightly different to what you first came in as.
My relationship with the actual club itself has not changed at all. The people that I work closely with, we still talk as much as we always did. We still engage, and we're still on the same journey and the same path. So that's exactly the same. Obviously, we've like a lot's changed in terms of obviously after the first summer, we're now on the first season. We're then based at the ground rather than being at Harlington. I think the links to the community have been far greater since we've moved back. Obviously, we changed training venues last year, and we've changed again this year after the venue we had not being sufficient. But yeah, I think the relationship on the whole is as it was previously for myself. I can't speak for anyone else. And yeah, it's my job from day one was to try and make us better. Obviously, ultimately, we try and keep us up. We didn't do that. Then we had a big job on our hands, and we've done that in tandem. And we've got we have 6th, 7th highest attendance last year, average at home. So that's a phenomenal achievement. We've off the pitch, everything is a lot more streamlined. There's much better processes in place. The club's in a good place itself, and yeah, the relationship with the players and the staff, we trimmed the staff down so it's more kind of streamlined and it's more efficient. And yeah, it's been yeah, it's good, and it still is good.
Excellent. I don't know if anyone told you, I checked back, and I think last season was something like our 15th highest season on the pyramid. So, however disappointed you were with 12th, when you put it into our entire history, it's something like the 15th highest finish. I know that.
Yeah.
Cheese make you so happy, but but there were a few sort of things that you did last season. So towards the end of it, you stepped in with the conversations about the season ticket prices and offered to cover the increase. That is unusual. What made you kind of feel I'm going to do this, and how did the family feel about it?
Look, I just think you do things to just trying to help. Like, ultimately, people can have whatever opinion they want of me, as they want. They can. I didn't get a job 2 years ago because I played for Millwall. Yeah, like I got to the final two and I lost out because they didn't feel that my Millwall background fitted in with their. But you've taken me all this way to the process to the end, right? So the reality is, no one actually has a clue what people are like outside of the perception that you have in that moment. We just want to help. Like, we're just trying to help across the board. With everything we've always tried and done is to try and help and to try and make it as an enjoyable as experience as we possibly can. And what comes with that is change, which seems to be the one thing that, especially at Sutton, that no one's very good at handling. It is like I can't even explain the uproar about some of the smallest things I've ever seen in my life. And obviously I'll tell you why I stepped in mainly because it was the fact that they was going to protest, and it was the fact they were going to protest against Gary, which really irked me. And I was like, and I said to him in that room that, be careful what you wish for. Yeah, I'm here to help. We're here to help. What can we do? How can we help you? Etc. Etc. And as I said, this club wouldn't be sat here right now if it wasn't for someone like him.
Yeah,
and that's just the facts. So let's not beat around the bush. Let's not try and. It'd still be around, but it'd be five leagues below, or whatever. And you know that as well as I know that.
Yeah, I have mentioned to him that investing usually means getting some returns on your money, not keep putting money in and in and in. And he was like, "Yeah, I know."
Exactly, but he does it because he genuinely loves the football club.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was where, and it was kind of like, so we, yeah, it is what it is. It was just a situation I felt I could help with. I did. Hopefully, it helped. It changed maybe a couple of people's perception of me, but it's only changed their perception of me. It hasn't changed actually me, which is the most interesting thing out of all of it. Yeah, look, it's you're just trying to help. I said everything we're trying to do, we're trying to help. Like, you might not believe it or not, but like between myself and Tim, like we're the ones who have been driving, getting stuff painted, getting stuff decorated, getting stuff like, it's not just been, oh, it just happened. It happened because we've asked for it to happen, and I've asked for it to happen, and I've said like, can we just paint the doors? Can we do this? Can we do that? Like, can we sort the speaker system out? Can we just like with Rob coming in with the food? It's like, oh, we're looking for a new. Oh, you got to get Rob. Food's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? There's all
Yeah,
like,
it's just huge
it's
changes,
just
yeah.
about making the whole like experience and everything better. And as I said, it's yeah, as I said, well, as we know, change is tough for people to deal with across the board. And I experienced it the other day. I went to the service station because I spend a lot of time in my car, and I went to get something. I only had a £5 in cash, and I tried to pay for something, and they said you can't buy anything in here without a card. I was like, better go back to my car then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
I did
no.
write a strongly worded email to the service station. I never got a response.
You also did a few Q&As, and you definitely got more relaxed. I have to say, my favourite quote on the last one was when you were talking in a very deadpan, monotone voice and said, "By the way, this is me really excited," and I was just creasing up. But how have you feel with those Q&As? Do you enjoy them? Do you look forward to them, or
Yeah,
is it something?
I don't mind. Like I said, football's something we talk about all the time. Something that's easy to talk about, and I understand and I know. And my favourite thing is when I like that day. Like my favourite thing from that night was the first Q&A was when I asked the question about like the team's formation and stuff like that, and I just get these random responses, and I'm like, no, and then you're like, it's really good because you're educating and you're helping and you're getting people to understand. I think it's interesting for other people as well. So, yeah, look, I think they're good fun. If people enjoy them, then great. Meanie, I think would do one every week if he could. But then, as I said, like, as I said, like even someone like John, like he's an extension of us and staff. Like it's like it's like he's different to me. So there's no point employing the same person as me. Mm-hmm. So you bring people in who are different to you, who have got different strengths to you. That's called, it's called being like intelligent. Like you have to bring people with different skill sets to you who are better at you than some things, and you can't be everything. Do you know what I mean? You see all these other clubs that got like staff on staff on staff, and you bring people in it's like you bring a goalkeeper coach in. Why? Because I'm not a goalkeeper coach, so I can't do it. But the goalkeeper coach is an extension of yourself. Yeah. And I said you have someone like John who's just, he is what he is, and we laugh every day. Like sometimes we have to ban him from talking about football, like just for an hour, like on a coach journey up to like York. It'll be like 6 hours, and it'll be like, you need to give us an hour. Where
don't believe that happens. I'm sorry, I'm not going to call you a liar, but I can't believe he does stop.
It doesn't, but we do have to put his measures in place. But that's also amazing, and that's why we love him, and that's why we're so pleased that when he rang me to say, "Steve, did you know my contract runs out on the 31st of May?" I was like, "Nope, I didn't." So I had to quickly, Tim, Ben, Gary, quickly.
It is done.
And then yeah, and obviously that was great.
Well, on Meanie, bringing us to a nice little last bit on this section. The fans match, you and John managed a team each.
Yeah.
Did you feel that brought you closer to some of the fans, and whilst at the same time creating a bit of a family split? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, no, it was great. Obviously, I think there's been some that I've obviously bumped into pre-season already that kind of say hello that maybe wouldn't have said hello before. So, and then you remember their face as well. So that was great. Yeah, my son ditched me after about 30 seconds and went and joined the other team because he wanted to go with John, which, yeah, is what it is. And yeah, look, it was a good afternoon, and now I can firmly cement it in my head when these people shout at me and tell me they don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, no, I've watched you lot play for 90 minutes. Let's relax.
And I'm gonna say, you did ask me at one stage, because I bought the t-shirt and played dress up. You're like, can you play? And I'm like, not a chance, because for that very reason I was like, nah, I'm not having you tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. I know that already.
No, so yeah, it was good, and obviously we obviously we lost on penalties, and
Yeah. It didn't have to go to penalties though, did it? I mean, didn't
it could
someone
have
else-
drawn.
Yeah. Well, no. I think someone had a chance to win it, didn't they? Carl missed the penalty.
Yeah, Carl missed the penalty. Yeah. But he went on my team. He was on my team. Yeah.
He was on your team.
Yeah, no, he missed the penalty in the penalty shootout, didn't he?
Oh, didn't he? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
He
yeah, we
missed the
would have won.
penalty shootout. Yeah, would have won. Yeah,
Terrible.
but anyway, that's life.
Yeah. Right. So there's been quite a lot of movement in summer. You've hinted at some of it already. So with Anthony leaving, you've worked with him for a little while. Has that changed anything in your day to day as well as other staff setups? Is there certain things that you're like, you now have to think about that previously you wouldn't have had to think about because someone else took care of it? Or is it?
No, nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. Nothing changed. Yeah, we're all doing the same jobs we were before. And yeah, just streamlined, a bit closer knit. Obviously, Kiri coming in, obviously had to move fast because obviously I get a phone call, was it 10 days, 2 weeks before the season starts to say that, well, Andy just said that he wanted the opportunity to leave and go work with Matt. So, yeah, and Kiri obviously came in who I worked with before. And yeah, no, nothing's really changed. It's just one less body in the office. But yeah, Kiri's taken on some of those responsibilities. So yeah, no, it's fine. All good.
Excellent. You moved very fast, or we moved very fast over the summer with the player recruitment. Lots of deals were done in place. I think basically everyone was all in place apart from Brandon before pre-season started. How do you think that's going to benefit us throughout the season? I mean, are we going to hit the ground running?
Well, I hope so. I think look, we've managed to get everyone together for the period of pre-season, so that was great. Yeah, look, we know what lane we're in. We're staying in our lane, and we have worked tirelessly. We've kind of we had to wait on a few bits. So Harry Phipps we spoke to right early on in pre-season, but took a bit of time for it to get done. Brandon was someone that was kind of on our radar, but it wasn't a deal we was able to do right at the start. But then it's kind of a position that we kind of kept open. But I think when I was at the fans forum and I said there wouldn't be, and I didn't think that it would actually happen. And then when you do get the opportunity, you're like, help! We want to do it. Can someone help us? And they did, which was great. So yeah, look, we managed to get all the work done. I think hopefully it'll benefit us because we've been together for 6 weeks already now, or we're in the 6th week now. And yeah, look, proof's going to be in the pudding, isn't it? So we've got arguably on paper the toughest August that possibly we could have, or if you look at the bookies we've got. But yeah, look, obviously having the lads together early has been good, and obviously Brandon coming in, he did know Simps and stuff like that as well. So it's made that transition okay.
Okay, I was going to do this in a second, but you've mentioned it. I mean, obviously we have to play everyone twice. That's it. But it hasn't been exactly kind to us. How do you approach that kind of start mentally, physically, when you're planning to say, right, we're going to have some of the big hitters early on?
No different to any of the others. It's yeah, it's just that they're all in the same league at the end of the day. It's going to be down to us just being as diligent as we has been in pre-season, as exciting as we have been going forward, and not really worrying about them too much, if I'm honest. I'm not being flippant about it in terms of like not giving them the respect they deserve, but because we will do, and we are doing, but more of just like I can't spend my life worrying about
If buts,
maybes. At the end of the day, I think by the end of August, whatever the last one in August is. I think it's is it the 30th? I think.
Close.
Carlisle at home.
Yeah.
We'll have a pretty good idea of where we are.
Mm-hmm. So we got York first.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, as fans, we're quite happy to have York because obviously we've got the whole Gucci wash bag business and a bit of fun and banter and all the rest of it. Does revenge come into players' managers' minds? Does that kind of stuff just mean nothing to you? Whereas we're all building it up a little bit to be something important.
No, I think ultimately everyone's got their own reason for doing things. I think if you're focusing on revenge or stuff like that, I think it's a bad place to be, because you'll make decisions that are not the best decisions. Yeah, look, I think it's definitely a game where the fans will get right behind because of obviously last year. Yeah, we just need to be focused on us and kind of what we're going to do in terms of obviously what they're going to do as well. But yeah, I think it's definitely the only thing I will be doing is making sure the media team don't do anything stupid like they did for the auction on the game last year.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure it was. I think that was taken different to how they meant it, but yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah.
Do you set targets? So do you have? You don't have to say it, but do you have a target for the end of August, or is it just a case of I've got a target for the season, and each game as it comes?
No, I don't really do that. Like my target is just to be better than we were last year, and I think we'll then obviously you can see where it takes you. I think this goes all the way back to my playing days. We always used to focus on get to 50 points and let's see where you go from there. The quicker you get them, the higher chance you are of getting somewhere. But yeah, look, our focus will be York, and then on to obviously National League Cup on the Tuesday. Then obviously Solihull at home. So yeah, look, I think we can't get too far ahead of ourselves. As I said, you can't look too far ahead. It's just ridiculous. Like it's the games. I think these moving these games to Wednesday night's an absolute ridiculous thing as well. But it's the same for everybody. So we just have to work it out.
So you're saying my spreadsheet predicting all the results up to the end of the season is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a waste of your time.
I haven't done it. So pre-season seemed to go actually quite well. Great mix of styles to play against, levels to play against. There was a few games where people kind of were standing around looking, going, what the hell's going on this pitch? There's triangles, there's good passing, there's great attacking intent. Even the Millwall game where they scored 6 against us, which normally would have everyone crying. People were kind of saying, apart from the goals, we were really good. How would you have marked, if you're a school teacher, how would you have marked pre-season so far?
Yeah, it's gone really well. Do you know what I mean? You kind of, it's been moments like I really hated the 10 minutes in the Hampton game where they scored. I really hated the first 10 minutes of that game as well. Like when we just didn't start right. The Chertsey game, the first 45 minutes was horrible. So yeah, like I think you're talking like maybe a B if I was going to give it something. And I don't think they even do it now. It's numbers now, isn't it? You get like a 6 or something. It's nonsense. Everyone knows B. Yeah. Yeah. Look, I think it's been good. I think you've seen the fact that everyone's been together for the whole time. It's been good. The messaging's been clear. The lads have performed at a good level, and yeah, we just need to carry that on now. So obviously, just take it into the real stuff, and our focus will be keep believing, keep focusing on what we're doing, and yeah, just I think if we focus on ourselves as much as we can, and because ultimately success takes care of itself when you take care of yourself. So I think we just need to keep focusing, keep grinding, keep trying to improve. I think we will improve. Obviously, as I said, you can do 6 weeks of pre-season, but the first half hour of that game on Saturday, you feel like it's your first run around you've had all season, and you can't breathe. What's happened, etc., etc. So, yeah, it'll be a great atmosphere on that first game. It'll be banged out, no doubt. And obviously, they won a wrong rights from last year in terms of finishing so high above everyone else in the league, and then having to wait 2 weeks to play a game, which is just ridiculous, and then losing at the first hurdle like comfortably as well. So, yeah, but obviously I will say the 4 teams that we've got to play are the 4 favourites to go up. So there's pressure in itself.
Exactly. You've mentioned the training ground, which was all kept very, very under wraps, the whole issues with the training ground. So well done to everyone on that. But what changes do you think it will show this season? I mean, I've already mentioned clearly the passing has got a lot better. The movements has got a lot better with the players. But what other changes are you hoping it will prove us for this season?
It just means we'll train every day. It's one less thing to worry about. We'll train every day. We will have a base level of training that will be consistent, and yeah, the patterns and stuff like that are no different to what we're working on last year. It's just they've come together a little bit better this pre-season, and obviously the personnel we've brought in are carrying that out very, very well. Yeah, look, the training ground, it wasn't like at times it was fine. There was just times when it wasn't, and yeah, this time it just gives. I said it's more of just a case of we don't have to think about. I don't have to worry when I'm driving in the morning and it's raining and we're like, well, where are we going to train? And then Terry's ringing around everyone he knows in South London to try and find a venue, and then yeah, so that would just help us in a general point of view.
Perfect. Longer term, what would you like to look back on in many, many years to see what Sutton has built into and you have helped build? How would you perfectly describe the future if I had a magic wand, which I don't have?
I think the club back in the Football League and in it and to stay in it, because I think for that to happen, you need to come in it and you need to evolve. You need to keep evolving. You need to keep the kind of cogs spinning. And I think if you get in there from a sustainable point of view, and obviously the ground being in a better place than it was previously, and obviously the pitch is amazing, and all those kind of things will just, and obviously we keep building the brand of Sutton United, that we're in South London, we're somewhere that you want to go and play your football. They give people a chance, they give people a platform to be better, and it's a great place to go and enjoy and play your football. And I think you've seen not many teams go up and come straight back down. But I think it's about going up and being able to stay there and be there. And there's nothing wrong with being a League Two club for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, and then getting a promotion, or I think getting there and being able to call yourself like an EFL club, but like properly for a long time is stuff that some people can only dream of. And I think you look at other teams that have come down, how long they've come down and been out of it for. It's been a hell of a long time. Some of them have even gone even further back. And they're trying to make a comeback now. The likes of, like, you look at Macclesfield and Scunthorpe and things like that. You don't want that to happen. We've had a taste. We've dropped back down. This has got to be like the worst level now for however many years.
I asked you this last year and you did say whoever scores the goals, so I'm guessing you're going to say the same thing. Who do you think the fans are going to be getting behind this year as players. We're not going to talk about Ashley's assists because I dispute a couple of them, because the one at York, he bounced off his knee and landed at Will's feet. But who do you think the fans are going to get behind? Ashley's obviously been on fire at pre-season.
I think they'll be excited by lots of them. I think they'll like our wingers, because everyone likes a winger that's exciting, that's doing good things. They're gonna look. They've already got relationships with the likes of Simps, the likes of Nadders. So I just think that those people will just enhance their reputations with the fans, and they're all really good people as well. So that they're all really nice guys. So when we do have like the fans event next Thursday, you'll get a real sense if you come down and let's make it an event that people are proud of and they want to do and they want to be a part of. Then obviously that'll be great, because all the players are going to be there, staff are going to be there, so there's no excuse. Don't start telling me you can't build an affection with the fans, or there's not all that nonsense. You have the opportunities.
Yep.
This is far greater than them coming in a bar after a game.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, finally, what's your message for the fans on the season? What would you like us to do for you and the team? I know get behind them, but practically, what is it you want us to do?
Just be positive. Let's just be positive. Everyone should be positive. Let's worry about the end of the season at the end of the season. Let's not try and make assumptions. Let's not get too down. Let's not too get high. Let's just enjoy the ride, and let's keep the momentum from the amount of people that are turning up to games, to the feel good factor, to pre-season. Let's take that on. And as I said, it starts with things like Thursday. Like, come down, get amongst the players. Come and if you want to be a part of it, come and be a part of it. And we're all here to try and give you guys the best experience possible and give you the most success we can. And yeah, I just want to see as many people down the ground. And if you haven't had it yet, make sure you have the burger or the hot dog that I've heard is tremendous. The burger's very good. I had one on Tuesday night, to be fair. It's now my pre-match meal, which is...
Is it? Nice.
Yeah.
Steve, burger sauce.
Just get down and try and be a part of it. Let's try and let's leave our ego at the front door, and let's all get together and let's get behind this group of players, and let's give them the support that will hopefully mean that you guys get what you want to see as well, all at the same time.
Absolutely. Let's have fun.
Yes.
Right. Thank you, Steve. I'm going to wrap up this episode. As always, appreciate everyone's attention and feedback. Follow, like, share at Sutton Podcast on social medias. Subscribe if you want. Leave us any reviews. Give us any comments. As always, thank you to our sponsors, Lucky Star Gin. Big thank you for Steve giving up so much of his time this evening. And thanks to the listeners. Hope you've enjoyed this episode of Sutton Podcast. Take care, and we will catch up soon. Bye-bye.
United! United!